Welcome to another episode of After the Whistles. Two tired guys over here. Me, Todd Burton's back here. I think he just got back from camp.
Yep.
I'm here. I'm still suffering from my little sickness that I got right now. But we're here. The show must go on. We got a lot to talk about. So this is the first ever. We starting the show off with golf, and Tiger Woods. he did it. Tiger Woods. It's been 11 years since he's actually won a major, and he won the Masters this past Sunday, and I think all of Black America was watching.
I was, and I couldn't tell you last time I watched the golf match, to be brutally honest with you. I didn't like the way they turned on Tiger during this little scandal thing. Like, men mess up all the time, and the whole golf world, the whole world just turned on him.
And now they love him.
There are so many analysis saying that his career is over, it'll never be the same. What was that, what's the old guy? Like the Hall of Fame golfer?
Jack Nicklaus?
Yeah, like Jack Nicklaus. He was still winning tournaments in, 60s, 70s?
He was old.
You give the man some time. Like, Tiger just went through one of the toughest points in his life.
He had, after that, when he won in 2008, after that, he just had a stretch of some misfortunes. It was that, we found out that Tiger was doing some.
He was normal.
Tiger was accepted by the black community after that. But then he had surgery on his back. He had surgeries on his knees. He was just having injury after injury, surgery after surgery. So, I mean, he wasn't the same person that he was when he was dominating. But this is one of those like, hey, well, stick to it and you get results. And this shocked a lot of people.
Yeah, but it's like, I'll be honest, I wasn't shocked because Nicklaus winning tournaments in his late age. Why can't Tiger? He just had to get healthy. Yeah. He had to fix some things in his training, and he just had to be a better Tiger.
And also with golf, you never know who's gonna win it. So it's always up in the air. You could be the favorite, but you just never know, because sometimes you'll have somebody that come out the blues like Bubba. I forget his last name. Bubba Watson. When he won it, nobody knew he was gonna win it. But he won. I think he won two though.
Yeah, he's good. He was good.
He was good, but he came out of nowhere to people that aren't into golf. Mm-hmm. So I mean, the Tiger doing this is his fifth one, 15th overall. I think what this Jack got 18.
I think.
Yeah. So three more. There's another major coming up in May. So Tiger could get that 18. He could break it. Maybe he could get up to 20.
I don't doubt it, to be honest with you. Just because golf also, too, home court advantage is kind of like the golf course.
Yeah.
So due to the way you play, if you're more comfortable with that field, and Mother Nature also helps. You know what I mean? The wind, everything, and luck is big in golf. No different than winning a championship anywhere else.
And from what I was reading and listening to, I heard when Tiger was dominating golf, when he was just winning everything, a lot of the courses, they changed it to try to make it a disadvantage for him and an advantage for other players.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they were saying it. They was doing stuff with the courses that would make it harder for him, and he was still winning. Golf didn't like Tiger Woods because he was a jerk. Hey, he was a jerk. A lot of people say he was a jerk, but
I'll be honest. How many nice, incredible athletes do you know who are just super duper nice? No, to be an incredible athlete, you have to be somewhat of a jerk. Yeah. Not the people, but you have to have that type of arrogance about yourself.
Yeah. So congrats. One thing I do got to tell, one advice I'd have to Tiger Woods, Tiger, you got to just let it go. Let it go, Tiger. You're struggling up there. Just let it go, man. Let that go. Like, what's going on,
He get away with the low one? The low even?
Maybe. Or bring it all the way low, but he just need. When I was watching the post game, I couldn't focus on what he was saying because
it looked bad. It looked bad because he took his hat off and it was all over the place. I get it, but you got all that money, he ain't worried about that top.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Convert.
Yeah, right. Yeah, rich people, wealthy people do stuff like that. They just look like they don't care about nothing. But yeah, we would talk about that 2009 stuff that happened with Tiger Woods and how the black community accepted him after that. And,
it was one of those things where we understood that he was normal. We never thought Tiger would even do such things, and then he was acting like a hooper.
The thing that surprised people was the amount.
Yeah, we were all surprised. We were all surprised.
Most people are like 0 and 2, 3. Okay, that's no. But then when the amount came out, I thought I was listening to DMX song. It's like,
Yeah, he had a busload.
like, oh, damn, like, oh, where'd you find him? Come on, Tiger, man.
Yeah, man.
But that's all in the past. Black men don't cheat.
Nope.
They don't cheat at all. Science and God said so. All right, NFL news. Talk about another brother who's
coming into his own.
he's having a transformation. Mr. Russell Wilson. He just got him and the Seahawks just agreed to a contract extension, $140 million. I believe 60 of it is guaranteed, and they needed to get that done.
That came with some swag too. You seen him in the bed.
Yep.
I ain't mad at you, dog.
Y'all, he was going full transformation. He was in the bed. He had the chains on. He was, he was going into like rapper mode.
Close.
Because if you would have listened to Russell Wilson when they won the Super Bowl, and you listen to Russell Wilson now, you just be like, well, which one is the real one?
I think he stepped out of the baseball light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's been around baseball players for so long. Their lingo a little different than football players, and he's been in the NFL for so long. He's starting to turn into.
Yeah, and also hanging around with Sierra.
I mean,
a good woman will make you change your ways, or maybe bring out the real you. Because I think we're now seeing the real.
Oh yeah, it's a splash. I mean, sometimes you gotta put the mask on for people to accept you. You know what I mean, and to give you those opportunities. And then once you get them, you go back to taking that mask off.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm telling you, we're gonna see him drop an album at some point. He's gonna drop an album, and I'm here for it because I want to see that.
Yeah, you gotta tell me how it is. I don't think I'll listen.
It'd probably be horrible. It would probably be horrible, but I would listen. But yeah, the Seahawks needed this. Now they gave him his money. They have the quarterback because everything's been breaking down for that team when they lost. The Legion of Boom, everybody's gone. Earl Thomas is with Baltimore. Sherman is with San Francisco. Chancellor retired. So all those guys are all gone. And they were saying the defenses will carry them to the Super Bowl when they won it. But Wilson did play a big role because he did make a lot of plays. And they haven't been protecting him too. A lot of the plays is him running around, running for his life and just making plays. For
him to have the lack of protection that he's had for the past couple of years and him still produce. You know what I mean? He deserves his money.
Yeah.
6-time Pro Bowler, meaning he's been, at least 7 years?
So, something
he's been a Pro Bowler almost every year he's been in the league. Give that man his money. End of the day, even when your team's being dismantled from the defensive end, he's still putting up numbers. He's still winning games for you guys. You guys made the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So he deserves that money.
And he's proven, too, that in the big stages he can make it because you got guys like, need I say, Kirk Cousins. You got to say Matthew Stafford. They getting all these Matt Ryan. Granted, Matt Ryan led them to the Super Bowl, but after that, it's just been like, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo got a big deal, but so I think he was due for one. He was due for one, especially if you're gonna give guys who aren't that great big deal.
He was getting beat up and producing, well deserved. Get that man his money.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna come up with a nickname for you, Russell Wilson. I don't know yet, but we're going to come up with one.
I'll think of one.
You and your 3 chains. Man. Another story, Nick Bosa. So this one's an interesting one. So Nick Bosa, I brought this up because, Nick Bosa, future, he's going to be a top 2 pick, maybe the number 1 overall pick in this draft. But he, apparently on his social media, he's a conservative. But he's all for, or he agrees with a lot of politics that his future teammates wouldn't agree with, and stuff that just is like. So there was one that he liked something about. Someone said something about the homeless people in San Francisco and how they're making the city look bad or something like that. Is something he agreed with. Then there's this conspiracy theorist lady. She's a self-hating black person, and he agrees with all the stuff she said.
Talking about the I don't want to say the wrong name, but yeah.
So he agrees with things like that. So basically the stuff Kaepernick and Eric Reed, they get scrutinized for, or they get asked a million questions for, that nobody's been asking him questions about that.
He's white. Like, let's be brutally honest, we live in a world where stuff is magnetized and put right in your face, and they don't even care how disrespected you feel about it. So it's just how it goes, man.
Yeah, it's crazy too, because in the draft process, I've seen guys get asked questions. I mean, Des Bryant, he got asked questions about if his mom was a prostitute or not.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, they ask. I've heard crazy questions asked before the draft, during the process when you go to meeting with teams, or even at the combine.
I gotta ask Cuz. You get any questions asked?
Yeah,
That's wild.
they ask a lot of crazy questions, and and for stuff for him, I don't know, not many people have brought this up. I've seen a few outlets, they wrote about it, but on TV-wise, I've seen nobody brought this up or even discussed this, and it just speaks to a bigger picture, especially with NFL owners.
At the end of the day, you don't ever ask no grown man about that situation, even if you know about it. Like, that's wow. For them to even have the balls to ask somebody that is just disrespectful. And I wouldn't have been surprised if Des Bryant risked his career because of that, because that's just disrespectful. Like, even if, not saying she was or wasn't, but even if she was, like, that's a way to provide for your family. And that's the past. You're gonna bring it up when this man's a potential multi-million-dollar man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, you know how they are, man. They treat people a certain way based on where you're from. Because I was in Texas and I heard mad stories about Des Bryant. They harassed that man all the time, for sagging his pants, for little stuff. Like, so it's just, based on who you are, where you from, and how you come off. But he'll have to learn about his choices, because social media made it now that you can't be like no closet bigot or closet racist. However you feel is how you feel out in the open.
Yeah, and it's just, my thing is like, you know what you're going into, because you're going into a league where 70% or 80% of the players are African American or people of color. So this is just gonna make for an awkward situation.
Now, one thing, do I have an issue with his? No, not at all. I respect him for his human rights and what he chooses to do and agree with. But when you step into another world, you have to check yourself and respect everybody for their beliefs.
Yeah, you can have your views, but like when we see guys like Eric Reed and Colin Kaepernick or some other current players like Malcolm Jenkins, Michael Bennett, when they're constantly asked about their political views or things of that, or their services or things of that nature, it's like, all right, if you're gonna ask him, you should ask him too, because he's putting it right out there on social media. He's out there liking these things. He's out there, basically endorsing what some of these people say, no matter who they are. But you gotta ask him about that, because it's just gonna make it very awkward for the locker room when the other players find out.
Just live in a world where treat everybody the same way. Ask everybody the same questions with the same tone. You know what I mean? Expecting to get similar answers. Don't question people using different terminology based on their skin color. Because you know me, I went to public and private high school. I understand the difference in how they talk to each other. And it's totally different.
And lastly, our NFL news: Leonard Fournette, I believe last week or the week before, he got arrested for driving with a suspended license. Nothing really is going to happen to him, but it's come on, you gotta know better than that. Especially, this is the time of the NFL where people start getting in trouble. This around April, May, June. It's like
free time.
Free time. Free time.
He probably, he has agents, a couple handlers, but at some point you gotta be responsible for your own self.
Yeah.
You should know about your licenses and stuff like that. Like if you have a driver or you're driving yourself. He's driving himself, right? Yeah. Oh, you should know everything about your driving record and all that stuff. So stay on top of things, man.
Just get a driver.
That too.
Sometimes you just get a driver. I have one of your relatives driving.
He might be cheap.
Yeah.
I will be too. Why not?
Yeah, me too. I like driving myself. So.
And it's like I can't feel safe with my life in somebody else's hand all the time.
Yeah. That's true. But yeah, get your license, man. Renew your license. It's a little complicated process now. But
it is.
Just get that thing renewed. All right, that's enough of that. All right, some real stuff right now. The NBA. We got NBA playoffs is going on. The Celtics 1-0 lead over the lowly Pacers. This game started off slow. The Celtics started off slow. They were down 12, and then they started picking it up. They started playing. They started actually playing and making shots, and their talent was too much for the Pacers, especially with no Oladipo.
I totally agree. It started off slow. Transition picked up. They're so much better when they're playing fast, getting it up and down the court. They're a totally different team. They're not really the best half-court team. They need to get trained because they have long guards and guys that can get up and go.
Yeah. So. And then no number 36 in this one, but he's out for the first and second round. So.
I'll be honest, bro. Like, it seemed like it was a tad of an adjustment without him because he does so much defensively. But once they figured it out, they was moving.
Yeah. He's a hustle player.
Yeah,
he's
so
a hustle player. He's occasionally will make open shots, but he's one of those you can kind of have someone fill that role. So
yeah,
I mean, but game 2 is tonight. So I think the Celtics. Yeah, I don't see this series going no more than 5 games because I think the Pacers will get one at home just because they play hard. But I don't see it going no more than 5 games.
Nah, just the way they play, it's just tougher to watch them because if Oladipo was in there, it would just be a more intense series.
Yeah.
It'd be better, more competitive, I feel.
Yeah, and also when you look at the rosters and you're like, all right, name the 3-4 best players. The majority of them are on Boston. Yeah, the only 2 for the Pacers you could kind of put in the conversation is Turner and Bogdanovic.
Yeah, that's the only 2 names that came to mind.
Yeah, that's about it. So I think the game 2 is tonight, so the Celtics should have. Maybe they won't start off slow, but I think they'll make light work of them. Also, another game. This game we both don't see it going no past 4 games. The Bucks and the Pistons. Pistons got ran out the building for game 1.
Man, we was talking before the show. The Bucks looking like the best team in the playoffs. Just the way they was moving the ball, everybody was scoring, they was getting up and down. And the Pistons have no Blake Griffin, so their best players on the bench. You're not really going to be able to compete.
Which is another thing. I mean, Blake Griffin, is your knee really that bad? Because this is like, why is it every year in the playoffs you're in a suit? Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping he's actually injured. I hope he's not playing that faker role because I don't respect people. I don't even respect people with that fake injuries, man. Is you injured or you ain't injured? So take the L or just be injured.
Yeah, because I know I saw something where it said they interviewed him and he said if it was up to me, I'd play. But yeah, you kind of look at that and like, then why ain't you playing? Who cares? You probably gonna get swept anyway, so you might as well go out there and be with your team, unless you can't do nothing.
Unless it's for safety reasons for the future, but he's been in the league long enough.
Yeah, he's been in the league 10 years.
Yeah,
come on
so it's time to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's already a reputation of him being soft, so this doesn't help that at all. But yeah, this series is going no past 4 games because they have no answer for Giannis. They're not a good three-point shooting team, and they couldn't stop the Bucks from getting in the paint.
Oh yeah, shout out to Pat Connaughton. Yeah, she was kid. He's out there getting buckets off the bench.
Yeah,
and their bench players for the Bucks come out there getting buckets too. So they're just a well-oiled machine right now.
Yeah, this
coming
is
into the playoffs.
Another one. You look at the rosters and you're just like, okay, the Bucks have the best, the second best, third best, and fourth best player, and then Andre Drummond. And that's all you can say for the Pistons. Yeah, Reggie Jackson and Wayne Allen said no.
Well, Luke, but he's young.
Yeah,
he's figuring the league out.
He's nice, but yeah, he's still trying to figure himself.
But playoff time, it's all about the vets in all reality.
Yep, definitely. A series that's tied 1-1, Philly versus Brooklyn, and this one, Philly, game 1, Brooklyn took it to them in game 1. They couldn't stop that high pick and roll with D'Angelo Russell because every time they did it, he got whatever he wanted, and there seemed to be no answer. And it looked like Jimmy Butler was the only one that came to play in game 1.
I was gonna say, look, they weren't even engaged in game 1, to be honest. That's the only thing I took out of the game. Like they didn't seem like they even cared to even play the game 1.
And you would think they'd be engaged, especially after they talked about last season how what happened to them against Boston, how that wouldn't happen again. But then you come out like that to a team that that you're way better than. But Brooklyn, one thing about them is that all season they play hard. And a lot of those guys, Karis LeVert and D'Angelo Russell, Spencer Dinwiddie, those guys, they've been producing. So, I mean, if you're not engaged with them, they're going to play hard. And what happened in game 1 could happen again because now it's tied 1-1. Who knows? Brooklyn plays well at home. They could go up 3-1.
In all reality, if some of these favorites lose in the first round, is it really a shock? Yeah, because we picked them, but everybody's professional out there. Everybody gets paid. Everybody puts the same amount of time in there. Yeah. So if you don't come to play, the man's going to smack you.
Yeah, and then Ben Simmons, he's still game 1. This guy, he has not improved with the shooting at all. He can get to the rim. He could create for others, but the not being able to shoot is really going to be the reason why this team can't win a championship.
And it's going to be the reason why he doesn't get over, you know what I mean, the hump, I want to say, being a superstar compared to just a star. You know what I mean? Because he's going to be a star just because he's 6'10", 6'11" point guard. But to be a superstar, you got to add to your game. And, you know, get the camp. You asked me a question about self-development. You want to improve every year at something.
Yeah.
So this year should have been, if it's not his 3-ball, should have been his jumper at least.
Yeah, and they say he's ambidextrous and he shoots with the wrong hand, but yet he hasn't decided to shoot with his right hand. He's still shooting with his left hand, and it's like...
One thing I always tell myself, though, we're a lot older than these kids are nowadays. You know, and so they're still young. They still got to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I just say, I'm 33, 32 or something.
Yeah.
So when we was 10 years ago, we would have thought we would have listened a little more, but we probably would have been thinking the same stuff.
But his behind, he sat for a year or two. Hey, he should.
This is true. You reminded me of that. Yeah, he need to get it together.
Yeah, get it together. So Game 3 is going to be in Brooklyn, and we'll see what happens there. But this series probably will go 6 games because I think Brooklyn just plays way too hard. And if you don't match their energy, you're going to get blown out. Raptors and Magic, a guy that we constantly talk about not showing up in the playoffs, Kyle Lowry. He put up a donut in Game 1 and got outplayed by DJ Augustine and Michael Carter-Williams.
DJ nice.
DJ
nice.
Yes,
Michael Carter-Williams a matchup problem. Shout out another mass product.
Yep.
I always say Kyle Lowry's too nice for me. For him to be a starting point guard, I need a dog. Like, you don't got to be like Mother Teresa nice, but like, I mean, he's like too nice. You don't got to be like evil, but I said Mother Teresa nice. But you don't got to be evil, but you can be like somewhat stern, demand respect. Like Ben Simmons, he demands respect wherever he goes.
Yeah.
Being 6'11", he's a little,
yeah.
But as a small guard, you got to be a little more, I want to say, intense.
Yeah.
A little more on edge, and he's just too nice sometimes.
Way too nice. Granted, he bounced back in the second game, but we've seen this before from him in the playoffs. He's just a no-show. That's why they could never beat LeBron. Couldn't even win a game against any LeBron team because him and DeRozan were just no-shows at each of those. And I mean, you go 0 for 7, 0 for 6 from three-point line, 0 for 2 from the free throw line. You got 2 turnovers. It's like, bro, this is why people see you and you have this reputation.
Yeah, and most times people will give somebody a pass, but you're not allowed to have offers in the playoffs as a starter. Like, you got to do something. That's why you're getting paid to play the game. So he did better in Game 2.
Yeah, in Game 2 he played a lot better, but they knew that because he had to play a lot better, or he would have heard it from a lot of people. Now, can he continue this? I'm not sure. They're going on the road, so I'm not sure. But hey, they got the win, so that's good. Series tied 1-1. Kawhi Leonard, he had a pretty good game, 37 points, and he's been engaged both games.
That was the difference between him and DeRozan. DeRozan's nice, but Kawhi is just a dog. You can't, and I felt like DeRozan and Lowry were 2 nice guys together. Yeah. You need one dog and a nice guy.
Yeah. So we'll see in Game 2. But kudos, the Magic, they need to get more from Vucevic. He had only 6 points. He had 6 points in Game 2, and that's not going to cut it. Aaron Gordon, he had 20 points, but they didn't really get much from anybody else. It was nothing much. Terrence Ross had 15, but Evan Fournier, and Aaron Gordon were the only starters in double figures. So so Magic, they're playing home, so maybe they'll get it together. But they need Vucevic to step up real big because he's one of the key pieces of that team. Mm-hmm. All right, the Western Conference, and we got the Warriors and the Clippers. This one is tied 1-1. The Warriors blew a 31-point lead. I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep during this game. Granted, I was tired. I seen the comeback, but I was just tired. I fell asleep, and I woke up. I saw the Clippers won. I was like, oh, okay. But there's this narrative going on that. Whoa, my bad. There's this narrative going on that that was awkward. There's this narrative going on that Patrick Beverley is locking down Kevin Durant, and that's a narrative that makes no sense because he's not locking down Kevin Durant at all. Kevin Durant, he just can't stay in the game. That's the only problem. He got ejected one game, which that ejection was kind of corny. The ref was kind of quick on the trigger, and then he got fouled out the next games. But he had 21 points, 23 points. 8 of 16 and 5 for 8. But granted, he went to the line 12 times. He was 12 for 12. So I'm trying to figure out where this narrative is coming from that Patrick Beverley's locking Kevin Durant down.
Maybe. I think they might be saying, like, psychologically, he might be getting in his head.
I don't even think that. I just think,
I would say only because you can't stay on the court for the full game.
Yeah.
He gets ejected and he fouls out. So they might say, like, all right, because KD usually finishes the game. He never gets ejected or fouls out.
Yeah.
So they need something to talk about for one. They need something to write about, and that's probably the only thing they really have to write about.
Yeah, and even with that ejection, I don't even think both of them should have got ejected in that one. It was just the ref was, sometimes these refs, they're too quick. It was just like.
They were just sick of dealing with it.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's just like, bruh, the fans are paying to see them. They don't want to see you. You've already given them the technical once. Even though the double technical was kind of stupid, but let them stay in the game because it was just like he locked them down, the ball went out of bounds, and he's talk trash. That's basketball. But sometimes these refs, they think they're too much a part of the game. And
they actually think that somebody actually comes to see them. Nobody ever comes to the game to see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple as that. I don't care if your wife's there. She ain't come there to see you either.
Yeah.
She came in to watch the game, and you just happen to be there.
Yeah.
Working it. Like come on, dog.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole thing I was seeing all week that Patrick Beverley's locking down Kevin Durant. Like, no.
I didn't even hear about that.
Oh man, it was all over the place. But yeah, Durant. But you can't win a game. Durant had 9 turnovers in game 2, and a lot of them were just careless. He just lazy passes that were getting steals. So
what about the elephant in the room? DeMarcus.
Oh yeah.
His quad. You seen the picture of it?
No.
I don't know if he ruptured it or tore it, but I seen the picture of it, bro, and it looked like it rolled up his like I said, a big old knot on his quad.
Yeah, he had some bad misfortune, and he's gonna be out for a while too. And he's on a 1-year contract. He was trying to establish himself so he could get a big contract. But we gotta give kudos to the Clippers too because they could have gave up on that game. They could have just quit, but they kept playing hard. Lou Williams, and they have no answer for Lou Williams or Montrezl Harrell.
Nah.
At all.
I like that Montrez came into his own. I always thought he's gonna be like one of them guys come off the bench.
Yeah.
But he's actually been producing, and he found his niche in the league.
Yeah, he definitely did.
He's an undersized big.
He was 9 for 9 from the field.
My point exactly.
The other day. So yeah, the Clippers, they definitely did their thing. It's most of their scoring comes from their bench. Their bench is killer. But if you look at the second half, they had 44 points in the third quarter, 41 in the fourth quarter. So they played big. I still don't think this is going no more than 5 games. If it goes to 6, congrats. But I think the Warriors are just way too talented. And if Kevin Durant, he's due he might explode for a 40, 50-point game because he's already doing damage and he hasn't taken 20 shots yet. He's taken 15, 16 shots. And why do they have Patrick Beverley guarding him?
Man, I don't know.
We understand that he's a tough defender. He plays hard, but
foot shorter than him.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Durant could get the shot off anytime he wants.
But wouldn't you prefer him to cover Steph to make it hard for the ball handler to bring it up the court? But they won, though.
Yeah, they won.
So we can only say so much.
Yeah, we can, but yeah, it just doesn't look good. But also with the Warriors, they sat Steph for like 8 minutes for Quinn Cook. I already said this. Quinn Cook is trash. He's trash. I'm sorry, but he's trash. For Steph Curry to be saying 8 minutes for him to get burn, no. Okay, maybe if Livingston's in there as a bet, but Quinn Cook is just trash.
Do you know? Was there a particular reason why?
No reason.
Because I didn't see the whole game either.
There was no reason, and they sat him down when he was heating up too. Because he had hit a few threes in a row, made a couple shots, a couple plays, and then they sat him, and it was just like.
Yeah, sometimes I can't even understand the moves of certain coaches.
Yeah, but I think game 3 is Friday, so it's going back to the Clippers. I don't see it. If the Clippers win 2 games in this series, kudos to them. If they win this series, I'll be here. I'll be drinking on set. I'll be drinking some Brugal if the Clippers win this series. Another series, Nuggets and Spurs. This was a good one last night. The Nuggets came back from 19 twice. They were down 19 twice. The Spurs had, oh Lord.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, the Spurs had them down. The Spurs played as we expected to play, and the Nuggets were playing as we expected to play a team the first time in the playoffs. And Jamal Murray kind of took over the fourth quarter, and he just got hot.
I'll be honest. I told you I was watching this game, and it said the Nuggets were on 11-0 run. I looked up, and they were still down by 10. So I said, I'm changing it. So I missed that whole comeback. just because I thought the Spurs had this one in the bag. And I usually don't assume.
Yeah.
And you see how it made me look.
Yeah, yeah. It was they couldn't stop Murray. He was going off. He was just doing anything he wanted. He was getting open. He was making shots, making tough shots too. The Spurs were scoring too, but I think the Nuggets are still a little more. And they knew they needed that game because if they went down 2-0. If they went down 0-2 to the Spurs and going to San Antonio, bye-bye series.
Yeah, they wouldn't have came. Yeah, they wouldn't have been back.
Yeah, especially for a young team like that, they'll do that for their psyche. But I mean, it was good. It was a good overall game for them. Now they just need to see if they could take it on the road because they've lost 13 in a row down in San Antonio.
I think most people lost that many down in San Antonio. It's gonna be a good series. Definitely the most competitive, I think.
Yeah.
That in the OKC series. So I'm looking forward to this being a good one. Yeah, but I don't see them getting any wins in San Antonio though.
Yeah, just because this one is two different styles. Because you got these guys, young, athletic, energetic. They want to get up and down every time, and then you got the slow it down. We're gonna make you defend for 24 seconds of the shot clock, and you leave anybody open, somebody's gonna hit a shot. And this Derek White guy, he's,
Who?
Derek White.
Oh yeah. Nah, that boy's all right.
Yeah.
He's all right.
I watched a couple games during the season. I was like, oh, he's not bad. Then game one.
Did he go to Purdue or Vanderbilt?
No, he went to Colorado.
Colorado. I knew it was a black and gold school. Yeah, he Colorado. He was a killer there.
Yeah, because he was
a killer there.
He went because before he got to Colorado, he was like at a Division II school or something like that.
All right.
And then the coach left. I think the coach knew someone from Colorado, and then he transferred to Colorado.
All right.
So. Yeah, he's nice.
He's nice.
But they're back home, so I think that's. I think the Spurs might take both home games.
Yeah. I just said that. Yeah. Yep.
There you have it. So we expect the Spurs to be up 3-1, and maybe by the time we come back on air next week, the series might be over.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Houston versus Utah. This one I just see Houston got too much firepower for Utah. James Harden, Eric Gordon, Chris Paul. It's way too much for Utah. I think Utah. I don't know Utah's offense. They really don't have that much offense.
They don't have enough scorers on Utah. They don't score enough. Some days they go quarters. They go like minutes and quarters without really putting numbers up.
Yeah.
And Houston's known for putting numbers up.
Yeah.
They got the best scorer we've seen in a while playing for them right now. So. Good luck.
Yeah, and
good luck.
And it's gonna be tough, especially when you see Eric Gordon making these tough shots, and Chris Paul hasn't even, Chris Paul's doing his thing. But when these guys are hitting threes and you can't match that, it's gonna be tough.
And Tucker's hitting threes.
Yeah,
they're all knocking shots down. So CP and Harden find everybody, and Harden's still getting his. So.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out ways to shut Harden off. For one, don't ever sit on the man's left hand behind him.
No.
That is just dumb.
And they had 19 points in the fourth quarter. Utah did in that game, but to Houston's 39. So you definitely not gonna win that game. But yeah, I need. They don't
have enough plays that can create for themselves.
Nope.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, I need more from Joel Ingles. He only had 3 points, and he's one of those guys. He usually gives you some buckets.
Yeah,
but
he does.
Need some more from them. And when you look at Houston, every single starter scored. Gordon had 17. James Harden had 29, 10 assists. Chris Paul had 14, 7. Capella had 16 and 12, and Tucker had 11. And then you got Kenneth Faried and House Jr. coming off the bench, and they both give you 11. It's tough.
Plus, they play each other all year round. And then the playoffs for a series. It's hard to beat teams 3 or 4 times during the season, and you think you're going to beat them, you know what I mean, in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Nah, the Rockets got their number, man.
Yeah, definitely. And the Blazers versus the Thunder, this series is 2-0 the Blazers, and Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum are definitely remember what happened to them last year in the playoffs, and they're not trying to have a repeat when they got swept by the Pelicans. And the way they've been playing the first 2 games, it's like they're making sure it doesn't happen again.
Nah, they came out with a vengeance. Lillard was saying they wanted to redeem themselves after the embarrassment. And Ernest Cantor, Ronnie Hood, they're showing I want to say how well they're producing the playoffs.
Yeah, Kansas almost had game 1. He almost had a 20-20 game.
That man was doing reverses and all type of stuff, man.
Yeah.
That boy's balling. He just can't cover many people.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's
like
not.
one-on-one, he can get blocks weak side and stuff, but like just covering somebody one-on-one, he just gives them the layup. It's like, bro, bump him, do something.
He don't know nothing about defense.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing about defense. That's like I know he's foreign, but defense is a foreign language to him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and if you look, the Thunder, Russell Westbrook. I mean, Russell Westbrook, he's been 5 of 20 from the field, 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. He had a plus minus of -27. Actually, none of their starters had in the plus minus. They were all in the negative. So nobody. Paul George had a decent game, 11 for 20, 2 for 7 from 3, but it was, it's tough for them to score because it's kind of like iso ball, and they don't really have anything that confuse the defense.
Well, remember when we was talking before the show when I said when you look at Oklahoma City now from when KD was there, the only difference is Paul George is there. They still kind of play the same. 2 players primarily having the ball in their hand. So the culture really hasn't changed that much for Oklahoma City for them to think they're gonna reach the next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the way they're doing it is not, because if you look at Portland, they've got 17 assists for that game, and then you got CJ and Damian, and CJ went for 33, Dame went for 29. So it's and Russ, when he's this little back and forth he's got going on with Lillard, when you see Lillard is killing you, then you force the action, and every time he forces it, nothing good happens.
That's why Oklahoma State's always better when they have one more ball handler.
Yeah,
like when they had Harden.
Yeah. Because sometimes Russ needs to be off the ball.
Yeah. Sometimes he's better off the ball.
Yeah.
Because he's really a 2 guy, just plays the point. Because he started at UCLA as a 2 guy. People forget that he had to learn how to be a point guy. So in reality, he's never really been a point guy.
Yeah.
So
that's when maybe they should do that in the offseason. Get a point guard or something. Come on, buddy. Get a point guard. But the good thing for them is that they're going home. They play a lot better at home. Although all their role players play a lot better at home. I mean, Ferguson, you gotta give me something. 1 for 5 from the 3. All those looks you got, those will probably go down at home. But
he can do more than shoot. I don't understand why they don't allow Ferguson to do a little more. The man's bounce is crazy. He's super athletic, but you know how it is. In the systems, they want to plug you places when you can show you can do more.
Yeah, sometimes coaches just do the most. But yeah, that's NBA playoffs. There's some games tonight. The Celtics play tonight. The Rockets and Jazz play tonight. So we'll see what happens. And lastly, with the Zion declared. He declared for the NBA draft. We all knew this was coming. We all know. Now it's a matter of is he going to be the number 1 pick, which everybody assumes yes. Just where is he going to go? The draft lottery is the ping pong balls is sometime in May. They're doing it in May, so they're going to find out. But I think the Lakers, the Knicks have a chance.
What would they feel like making the ping balls stop on? That's what they're going to get.
Yeah.
I be thinking that stuff's set up, bro. Like, there's so many hometown kids be getting drafted to their team, hometown. Like, come on, bro. Like
the year the Cavs won it, the draft lottery back-to-back, when LeBron left, and they just so surprisingly won the draft lottery 2 years in a row.
And he ain't the only one.
Like 2 out of 3, or like 3 out of 4 years.
It was something like that. And it wasn't even just LeBron. It was somebody else that got drafted at home. Derrick Rose, right?
Derrick Rose, yeah.
D Rose, another one. So it's like.
Yeah. I don't think the Bobcats are going to get the number 1. Well, he's not from North Carolina. He's from South Carolina, but I know the Bobcats ain't going, because if they do, they're going to be like, oh, that's the Jordan effect.
In the Hornets, you mean?
Yeah, the Hornets. Yeah. My bad.
Nah, it's all good.
My bad.
Yeah. But I'm happy for him, though. I'm not surprised that he declared. Like, I would have liked him to play another year of college, but with the probability of getting injured and all that stuff, he was already injured, I wouldn't stay.
This is the first time in his life that he will be going up against people just as or even more athletic than him, because it was kind of criminal what he was doing to people.
Yeah. I don't know too many guys more athletic than him, but he gonna be in for a rude awakening though.
Yeah.
Couple nights.
Yeah, he is. But I think he'll have a great career.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm sure the Knicks are dying to have him because they need something. The Knicks need something bad.
Yeah, sell the team.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. All right, we're going to go to Athletes Corner. We got my man Nashaun Butler on. He talked about his commitment to Framingham State. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk to him about that. These kids going to college and stuff.
That's dope. Congrats.
They about to have the time of their lives. Welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner. We got another guest. This is his second time on the program. Mr. Nashaun Butler, senior, Lynn Classical. What's going on, man?
How you doing, bro? How you doing?
Chilling, man. How are you? How's everything?
Doing great. Good.
Lots changed in your life since the last time you came here, man.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. So recently, last week, you made your commitment to Framingham State.
Yes.
Play football and continue your education. So what was that like? What role or what went in your mind in choosing Framingham State out of all the schools that you had options to go to?
So I've been down to Framingham about 3 times, and like every time I went down there, I just felt like more and more like I need to go here. Like just the atmosphere, like first caught my eyes. Everybody's just cool. Like everybody's friends basically. It's just like high school.
Yeah.
And like the football team, like they're really about football.
Yeah,
and that's all they do. Like that's all they live, and that's what I want to be. That's the place I need to be.
Yeah, and they got a pretty good program over there too. They got a lot of kids, a lot of people on that team.
Yeah, a lot of good people on that team. Definitely.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be a challenge, but I'm always up for the challenge.
Yeah, how are you? You know, you're finishing out high school. You got a couple months left before you walk across the stage and then start the new phase of your life. So how are you just getting ready for that, or just I know it's like it's close, but it's not here yet. But so how are you mentally getting ready for that part of your life?
Definitely got to finish off the rest of high school, get in the weight room, and basically I'm not really ready for it. No one's really ready their first year of college, so I'm just gonna go and just roll with the punches.
Yeah,
and see what I gotta do.
Yeah, and on your tours, on your visit to Framingham State, what were some things that stuck out to you that made you decide to go there?
Again, the brotherhood that they have as a football team, like as with the coaches, the relationship between the players and the coaches is like unreal. Like, and all of the players on that team, they just love football, like I said before. So putting myself in that position where people love football, it's gonna make me understand the game more, learn more, and love football more than I do now.
And I understand there's probably some guys that you played against your junior year that are freshmen there going on their sophomore years over there, correct?
I'm not sure.
I know
a lot of Boston kids that go there. So.
Yeah, I know there's a couple Salem kids from there.
I've seen a couple kids from Everett that I know.
Yeah.
That was up there. I know a couple kids from I know the running back. I knew him before from also last day we took pictures at the same time.
Okay.
So I met him from there, but not that much. A lot of Boston kids, a lot of Brighton, Boston, Roxbury kids.
Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be an adjusting period for you as well. So what have people told you, or has anybody told you what to expect, or are they just kind of not say giving you advice, just kind of telling you some things you should look out for and stuff like that?
Stay out of trouble. A lot of people saying it's easy to get in trouble, so that's a lot of people are telling me. But I really like to stay to myself sometimes. So that shouldn't be a problem, getting in trouble. So I'm not really.
Yeah, I think most people say that because this is probably a lot of folks. This first time being away from home. You got all this
parties and
you got all this freedom, and then it's like this. My experience is usually the first month. It takes people some time to adjust, and then after that first month, they pretty much got the hang of it. But usually it's the first month they try to adjust with class, practice. Then you got to do all the extra stuff. So
definitely that's gonna be stressful going from class to practice. It's definitely gonna be something different, but I like different sometimes.
It won't be no different than high school, except you kind of
it's
your
just
schedule.
A lot more practices. Everything's set. It's just time management.
Yeah, pretty much. But talk about your high school career. You guys had a great season. You guys, back to back, over 500. You guys finished over 500. So what are some memories that you're gonna take away from the past 2 years?
Definitely the brotherhood. Like I grew up with these kids. I'm never gonna forget my friends. Like those have been my friends since I was about 7 years old when I started playing football. Definitely just the relationship we had. Like I've met the last 2 years. I started varsity my junior year. And we just being able to like build a more like closer brotherhood than we did before, just because like we had to turn the program around on our own. Like we had the help. Coach Vaughn came over, gave us all a shot, and we just showed what we had, and we did what we had to do. What
was that like for you guys? Just you guys trying to turn turn the program on? Because, growing up watching any Lynn programs, it's athletics, either football, basketball, there's always a tradition of winning with all the programs. Everybody's doing the winning. And what was that like for you guys just to be able to turn Costco around, because Costco's not used to, having down years, but you guys were able to bring it back?
Definitely the beginning of our junior year, our mentality was just every team we played, we're gonna beat you. Like, we're better than you. And that's the mentality we went into. And sometimes we lost, and most of the times we won, but you got to go into that. When you play football, especially when you play football, you got to go in thinking like, yo, I'm the best man on this field.
Yeah.
So that was a mentality that we had, and it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was easy, but again.
Yeah, nothing's easy.
Exactly.
But you guys, one thing about you guys, even the past 2 years, you guys were in a lot of close games. A lot of games. You guys played a lot of close games. And literally, majority of all your games came down to probably a play here and there. So what's that like, just being in games like that, just knowing that every game that you guys were just right there with each team that you guys faced off against?
Being one of the offensive go guys, it was definitely nerve-wracking, because you never know, like, this might be my chance to put the team on my back, or I got to do this so he could put the team on their back. It's definitely nerve-wracking going into games like we went to last year, went to Revere in overtime. We lost, but it was like the whole time I was just very, very, very nervous. It was it's a scary moment, because you don't want to lose. So
yeah, definitely.
But sometimes you can't help what's going on the field. So I personally just do what I got to do.
Yeah. Tell me a little about what do you want people to remember your years playing varsity? What is something that you want people to remember you as a football player, also just as a person in the classical community?
An underdog that never backed down from anybody. No matter who it is, any competition, I'm going to go after it and I'm going to beat you. And that's what I got to do. I got to prove that to myself.
Yeah, that's quite the role to have. Now talk about some of your teammates. Keith, he committed.
Yes.
Chance, he committed. So just this is you guys' last time together.
Yeah.
And just talk about that, because you guys were you three were kind of the cornerstones for the team. So what's that like to see not only your teammates but your friends? They're also going to be going on to the next level with education and their athletics.
I'm happy for both of them. Those are my brothers. I love those dudes to death. Chase, that's family, so you already know it's blood over here. So, but like with Keith, he's just got to go in and not be nervous. Just play his game. Keith is a very talented kid, and he knows that. And I was actually talking to him last week, and he was telling me, like, we were talking about BC and stuff like that, how they wanted to go from tight end into quarterback. And what I basically just told him is just like, man, just play your game, man. It's not, wherever they put you, you got to just show up.
Yeah.
Get on that field, because I want to be able to watch him like on TV, like, yo, that's my boy. Like, I know that kid.
Yeah.
So I just told him, just do what he got to do and just make the best of it.
Yeah, definitely. And for yourself, what do you think it's going to take for you, when you get there, to try to get on the field? Because it's basically you're starting over once again, starting all over once again. You're freshman, you got the upperclassmen. So what's it going to take for you? What is it that you're going to do to make sure that they notice you, just so you can be on the field right away?
I'll play my game, hit the weight room, keep my grades up, and then see what happens. I always try to outbeat the person in front of me. Hopefully it works out.
And did you talk to the coaching staff? Did they give you a grasp of some things that you should be expecting when you get on campus for some off-season training or the summer camps?
Hitting the weight room a lot. I need it. Definitely. And being able to put people on their butt, basically. Because I'm going to be playing a lot of slot, blocking a lot of linebackers.
Okay.
So those dudes are going to be about like 6 feet, 230, pure muscle. It's gonna have to go some chest in my hair. I'm hair in my chest, so
it's gonna be fun. You're gonna enjoy it, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna enjoy it. It's college. It's not,
it's gonna.
If you don't enjoy college, there might be something wrong with you.
Yeah, it's gonna be the best 4 years of your life. Just trust me.
I hear a lot of people say that.
Yeah. Well, lastly, before we go, anything you want to say to everybody out in the city that's been supporting you?
FSU class of 2023, dog. You know the vibes, man. Come on, now.
You know the vibes. Yeah, Mr. Nashaun Butler. Make sure everybody in the city of Lynn, Saturdays when y'all got the chance, go down to Framingham State and go check out some of his games. All right? We out of here. back. All right. Well, before we close this out, we want to congratulate Clarissa Shields, who Pedro just told me this before the show, defeated Christina Hammer in a one-sided unanimous decision to claim the undisputed title for the first women in women's boxing history. That's big. That is big. So that means she puts hands on people.
Yo, she got mad titles. She
Yeah,
like 5
that basically
titles.
means, ain't she black? So shout out to Clarissa Shields doing her thing, winning all those titles. Unanimous. She's unanimous, undisputed. That's what we talk about, undisputed. So congrats to her. All right. Also, the Red Sox, they suck right now.
Yeah,
They suck. Chris Sale sucks. He's over 4. He's 0-4 as a starter. They lost to the Yankees last night, 8-0. They got another game tonight. It's a 2-game series with the Yankees. They got a game tonight at 6:30. They need to get it together. I mean, there's a lot of games, 150 or so left. So they need to get their act together. But, yeah, they just suck right now. So maybe they'll turn it around next month and then whatever. But they suck. All right, hockey. We got some hockey news. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the favorites to win the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row, have got eliminated. They got the brooms from the woefully terrible Columbus Lightning or Blue Jackets, whatever. I don't even know the team's name.
Blue Jackets.
Columbus Blue Jackets. Yeah, Columbus Blue Jackets, they defeated the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-0, a sweep. The Bruins and the Maple Leafs, so right now it's a 2-1 series, and they are playing tonight. The Bruins need to win this game to not go down 3-1. So if the Bruins can win this series, they have a big chance of winning the Stanley Cup or coming out the East, because the best team in the East just got pretty much eliminated. So we'll see what the Bruins do in that. And also the Penguins got the brooms as well. They got eliminated last night. So we have some favorites that have been eliminated, and we got some teams that are down 2-1. Right now, Nashville and Dallas. Nashville leads that series 2-1. Calgary and Colorado. Colorado leads that series 2-1. Capitals with his boy Ovechkin against Carolina. That series, Washington leads 2-1. St. Louis and Winnipeg is tied at 2-2. And Vegas and San Jose is 3-1. Vegas, they play tomorrow. St. Louis, Winnipeg plays tomorrow. Washington and Carolina plays tomorrow. Tonight, Calgary and Colorado. Nashville and Dallas. And Boston and Toronto. Those are tonight's games. So series could be tied, or some series could go down. Some teams could be down 3-1. We'll see what happens to them, because it's kind of crazy. And we also want to congratulate Antonio Anderson and Alonzo Linton. Mm-hmm. Antonio Anderson was named Coach of the Year for the state of Massachusetts by USA Today. Yep. And Alonzo Linton was first team All-State in the state of Massachusetts. So they're just getting hardwares this year. Lynn English is getting all those hardwares. Fittingly, I wore this today. I wore this today. So congrats to those guys, man. Talk about a difference a year makes for Lynn English. There's been a lot of things happening going well their way. And also, congratulations, Alvin Abreu. He was named to the Classical Hall of Fame. So I believe the ceremony will be happening next month. So we want to give a congratulations to Alvin. Also, Jalen Echeverria, he was named second team All-State by USA Today. So there's a lot going on. Jalen, you got to come here, man. You promised me you'll be here. He committed to Endicott, so we and him got to sit down.
Part of the brotherhood now, man.
Yeah, he's part of that. All right. Before we go, I just want to say rest in peace to Anthony Betancourt. That was Anthony Betancourt. That was a good guy. The way it's tragic what happened to him. I knew him from way back. The way he went out, that's tough. Condolences to his family. Anthony had a son as well, so it's just sad, a sad story. But Jose, keep your head up. But yeah, rest in peace, Anthony Betancourt. And with that said, got anything to say before we get out of here?
Nah, enjoy the rest of y'all vacation.
Yeah, vacation. Also, go to the camp at Lynn English.
Camp. I mean, it's almost over, but two more days left in camp.
Yeah, just go check it out. Go watch. Go learn something. How to dribble. All right. We are out of here. Thanks again, Pedro, for the stuff, behind the scenes stuff. And we'll see you guys next week.